I made sure to not wear the same thing 3 weeks in a row, as I noticed I did last week after I posted the video. But anyway, so last week I shared how Paul, in front of the tribune, or Paul, when he was going to be flogged and without being tried, he used his citizenship. So continuing on from that story, if you follow it, that leads to this very long process of Paul being in prison under house arrest for years, and he appeals to higher courts, and at one point he appeals to Caesar, and Caesar agrees to hear him. So Paul's brought before Caesar Agrippa, and he just gives his testimony. I mean, it's saying like, well, these are the charges against you. I guess you're stirring uproar, whatever. Let's hear your defense. And he just says, well, they're upset because the Jews are upset that, I say that Jesus rose from the dead. But then he says, and then he just proceeds to give his testimony. I was one of them, but Jesus came to me and appeared in a vision. He's like, all that I've done since then is be obedient to that vision, to what God said. And he says that God has helped me to this very day, so I stand here and testify to small and great alike. I am saying nothing beyond what the prophets and Moses said would happen, that the Messiah would suffer, and as the first to rise from the dead would bring the message of light to his own people and to the Gentiles. And Festus, who's there, replies, "You're out of your mind. Your great learning is driving you insane." He says, "I'm not insane," Paul says. He goes on to say that the king, Agrippa, is familiar with these things, and I can speak freely to him. I'm convinced that none of this has escaped his notice because it was not done in a corner. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? I know you do. Appealing to his conscience or his sensibilities. And Agrippa says to Paul, and kind of complimenting him, saying, I know he understands this. Then Agrippa says, do you think that in such a short time you can persuade me to be a Christian? And Paul replied, short time or long, I pray to God that not only you, but all who are listening to me today may become what I am, except for these chains. So just expressing this deep desire that all people would be saved, would be totally sold out for Jesus, and, not that they would be imprisoned, but that they would be following and diligently speaking their testimonies and speaking the truth about Jesus, that he was this Messiah, that he died and rose again, and that's what he wants for people. And what really stuck out to me when I read it was the way that Agrippa says, in such a short time, do you think you can persuade me? And Paul replies, short time or long, right? I just pray that you will come to this state that I am in. And I was moved by that because, I was thinking about someone that I had kind of been talking with, and they have been hurt by the church in the past and just have this history. And so they just get angry when things come up about Christianity or the church or about my faith. And I just had this, recently a conversation with someone else about that just kind of this idea of what it is to be patient, just continuing to just invite them, right? Not pressing things on them, but just seeking that truth, like inviting them to consider the church and inviting them towards the truth and that healing, into that healing process. But you can't push them into that healing process. So you just give that invitation and then be patient, short or long time. If, you just continue to do it, and however far they respond to that invitation today, that's great. And if they don't, okay, next time maybe they're ready to go farther, and whatever that is. So just God knows what they can, where they're at, what they can handle. So just being obedient to the vision, like Paul, of what the Lord told them to do, and then sticking with it, being diligent and being patient and praying that whether it be short or long time, that they would come to that truth. So I just wanted to give you that today. If you've been, if there's someone on your heart you've been talking to or witnessing to, just stay true, continue to invite them, be patient, and short or long time, just keep speaking the truth, and people will come when they are ready. So we'll see you next time, Hillside.